I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. And by that, I mean watch Funhouse again.
Really?
Oh my God, dude. I've watched it 2 times for you. You're the only person who I will watch a movie that I strongly dislike just to see if I can get a funnier reaction out of it. It's going to be funny.
Funnier than you singing Meatloaf?
I love meatloaf, man. Ooh, a meatloaf sandwich with ketchup.
I'm sorry I sang Meatloaf to you, Jack. All right.
Yeah, today we are talking about a Tobe Hopper film called The Funhouse. And it was Matt really likes this movie. And I saw this movie a few years back and I didn't really enjoy it the first time. Matt was like, "No way, Rumi. No way. We gotta do it again. Try again, Rumi. Try again for me." And I said, "Rumi, I'll do it. I'll do it for you, my guy." And so I watched The Funhouse, 1981's Funhouse, directed by Tobe Hopper, starring some people you've never heard of, screaming in the dark. Movie does. We'll get into it. But before we get into it, hit like and subscribe. Follow us on social media, all the things, Facebook, Instagram, X, whatever you do, and YouTube at Launchpad Pod, and our website, launchpadpod.com. See us make silly faces in low HD quality because our internet blows. That's okay. Just ask John Marriott how that's going. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one, man. I think I like it. I like it when we agree because then it's like, yeah, that's why you're my roomie. But it's funnier when we disagree. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah, well, I just can't wait to prove you're wrong. But go ahead.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
All right. Welcome to the Launchpad Podcast. I'm Aaron.
Matt.
Matt, today we're talking about that Funhouse movie you made me watch again. Let's start with you, Matt. Why do you love this movie so much?
Okay.
Why is this one that you're like, you need to watch this?
There's no reason. It's not great, but I really like it. It holds a special place in my heart. And I think because more than the movie itself, I remember the VHS cover scaring the absolute shit out of me in the video store, probably more than one video store. You may recall this. This is a 1981 Tobe Hopper. It's you know, the cover is a Killer Jack in the Box, which is like a man in a costume. And he's got these big prosthetic cheeks on, and he looks like a clown, and he's got a big frilly collar, and in his hand is an axe, and he's coming out of a Jack in the Box. And that was awesome. Yes, Rumi has a question. He's raising his hand.
Is that clown in the movie at all?
No, 0%. 0%. But we could probably do an entire episode, maybe even a series on cover arts that don't do the movie right or justice or don't appear in the movie, but still don't necessarily detract from the movie.
Normally, it's a plus in my book. You know, if you have Tanny and the T-Rex and there wasn't a T-Rex in the movie, I'd actually be like, I'm okay with that. That's pretty fun. But there is a T-Rex in that movie.
Technically, there wasn't a T-Rex in the movie. That was an animatronic, even in universe. But yes, I'm not going to debate that the title sequence and cover art of this movie are cooler than the actual movie.
Oh, I disagree. The title sequence is cooler than the rest of the movie because the title sequence.
That's what I'm saying.
There's all these
It's all
bitching,
these
like,
creepy animatronics.
yes, and it's good. That part you're like,
Mhm.
oh, these are creepy alone. If you did a whole movie of just creepy, like old school automaton animatronic clowns and Humpty Dumptys and shit, that would be scarier than what I saw.
I don't disagree. I don't think this movie is actually scary, but I like it. And I think part of it is just I have this memory of being petrified of the actual video. And I probably first saw this in college, maybe even after.
Hmm.
And the movie itself is kind of interesting in that and there's this movie really rewatched it last night for I don't know the umpteenth time, but it made me think about this class of movie that I just last night kind of named, and it's like a nightmare movie. And it literally is. I don't think that I have your stereotypical nightmares. My nightmares, my scary dreams are really weird, and they're not necessarily a B C narrative. It's not this happened, and I either got away or I didn't. It's like weird shit. And I feel like People Under the Stairs is another great example because People Under the Stairs keeps doing different things. And you're like, wait, that's also in the same movie? Multiple things happen in that movie where you're like, wait, that's also a problem that the protagonists have to deal with. And this movie has that. And it also has a bunch of random shit that have absolutely nothing to do with the
Yeah.
overarching plot and overarching story, but still are weird and wacky and set the stage. And I feel like those are little things that happen in at least my dreams that make when I wake up that I'm a little bit like, man, that was fucked up that that guy said that in that dream, even though that wasn't even what the dream was about.
I want to say
Um,
this. I want to
yeah.
tell you about a dream I had the other night where I was being attacked by a hummingbird, and I woke up when he went in my ear and stabbed my brain. That's true. So,
And did you feel like a big, strong man having a dream like that?
no, that's why it was a nightmare. That's why it was scary. I did not like any of that. Tobe Hooper, and this is a theory I'm developing. Let me see if you agree.
Okay.
Italian horror films, giallos, do
Mamma
like
mia.
this like beautiful dreamlike states that are often nightmares, but there's a beauty
Yeah.
to what giallo does. Tobe Hooper makes American giallo, and when I say that, I mean he goes for the dirtiest, grimiest thing, but it doesn't necessarily matter what the plot is, doesn't necessarily
Mhm.
matter what the intention of the story or the themes are. It is just an experience. Like Suspiria is like that. A lot of
Yeah.
giallo, the plot doesn't really matter. It's just these nightmare scenarios that kind of jumbled together. This movie kind of made me feel that way, where it was like, you watch these kids go to a carnival for like an hour. They just go and they see a magician, they see nudie girls, and they ride some rides. They don't even get to the titular funhouse till almost 45 minutes in. It's ridiculous. But that's very much how I feel like an
Mhm.
Italian horror film would tackle this.
Yep, I agree with that. And again, and maybe you tell me that doesn't detract from the movie for me. I'm not like, ugh, you're not even at the fun house yet because there's this is not an amazing film. It's not an amazing cinema. It's not an amazing piece of storytelling. But in that 45 minutes or so before we get to the fun house, your character building, you're telling me who our heroes and at least our protagonists are. You have this little kid who's following his sister, and there's these little creepy beats that keep hitting that are balloon bops for me because I'm like, oh fuck, I certainly didn't expect that, and I also don't know what to expect. I'm imagining this is going to be about a killer funhouse, possibly a giant Jack in the Box, and now there's like a harbinger kind of witch character. Now there's some random truck guy. You're like, what are all the where is this movie going exactly? And then I'm on board. I like it, and it's part of the thing for me is this is 1981. It's a really great 80s gritty. It's not exactly a slasher, but I guess it's close. And although I was -1 years old in 1981, this for sure would have been a sleepover movie for me and my friends in middle school. This wasn't on my rotation. This wasn't one I did, but in an alternate universe, I could easily see me and my buddy Joey Dunn and Richard Kalame watching this movie on a sleepover, rewinding the beginning scene to watch the creepy brother look at his sister's giant jugs a couple of times. I watched that
first 2 minutes.
Even
Tits
now,
in the first 2 minutes
a little bit.
Yeah, tits in the first 2 minutes. Props to Tobe Hooper for that. It does detract for me, and I don't know why. Why do I give an Italian cinema a pass? Because I'm like, oh, molto bene, it's so good. But then, like, I watch a Tobe Hooper movie, and I'm like, blah, they haven't even gotten to the catalyst yet. Aren't you following typical story narration points? Why are you not following the rules that I understand? Boo! Like, I get so annoyed when I'm watching a movie. If the people are speaking English, I'm like, you're 10 minutes in. Where's your goddamn callus? And I guess they'd be like, well, they went to the fair. That's they went to the fair. What do you want? And I'm like, yeah, but nothing is happening. It doesn't matter if they see the nudie girls or not. It doesn't matter if they see the creepy magician or not. It doesn't matter if they go to the freak show or not. None of it matters. The only thing that matters is them getting to the Funhouse, which takes forever. But those all as their own scenes are well done. Because I love the freak show part. We see a real two-headed cow. That's fucking cool. We see a real cow with a cleft palate. He looks wacky. Kind of want to give him a hug.
Those cows are dead. I realized that last night. In real life, they're dead.
I know. They were probably in a hamburger at some point in Miami.
Oh, you think they put cleft palate cows in hamburgers?
Why wouldn't they?
Actually, those are probably the first ones to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Two-headed cow makes you. He makes a Big Mac. Two all beef patties. That's stupid.
So let's walk it through real quick. At least this movie opens awesome, and it opens awesome 80s way for me because you're first person and you're looking around this room and there's creepy shit in the room. There's a ventriloquist dummy head mounted on the wall that winks when the first person camera gets close to it. Yeah, Rumi.
Do you know whose creepy winky ventriloquist that was?
Like who owned the prop?
Yeah.
No.
Sherry from Lamb Chop. The puppeteer, the famous Sherry, her name's Sherry.
Yeah.
And she has Lamb Chop, a little sock puppet. She owned a bunch of that shit and she lent it to the movie. Specifically,
really? Where'd you feel that?
I looked it up, buddy. I did some research because I was like, there's got to be something to redeem this. Unfortunately, the creepy props, well, maybe it did. Maybe that was a plus for it. But yeah, Sherry from Lamb Chop owned the creepy ventriloquist that winked, and they put in. She owned a lot of the stuff that was in that kid's room, including probably the whips and chains and the flail.
So I needed to bring that up. There's a really cool Gankenstein poster right above his bed with electric, it looks almost black light, neon light. And there's this wall that has all these like cat of nine tails and handcuffs hanging from it, a knife, little maces and stuff, little like Morning Star swinging weapons. And you're like, is this like some sort of weird S&M thing? But like it very clearly is a kid's room, right? But it's a weird thing. Like, my kid's weird because he's nerdy and loves old nerd shit. But if he was like, Dad, can I have an S&M room or an S&M wall? I think I'd kind of be like, maybe? I don't know.
I had a weapons wall in high school. I had a chainsaw, various knives.
That's different, though.
BB guns.
But I feel like a weapons wall, you could be like, okay, if zombies attack, I could use these weapons. If an intruder was here, I could use these weapons. If there's a gremlins outbreak, I could use these weapons. That thing was just for dominatrix type stuff, right?
Yes, he's a serial killer for sure. I had a spear gun that, because I didn't know how a spear gun worked, it was loaded. It was charged because it's rubber bands, right? That stretch back. And I like to go boing, 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 and it made a fun noise. But the rubber bands.
Please don't tell us about you boing, boing, boinging in your childhood bedroom.
Boing, 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 bang, a dang. And one day, the fucking rubber bands, the giant heavy industrial rubber band snapped, and like a 4-foot spear went flying through my ceiling while I was like near it. And it was like, oh, I could have died right there. I almost died. Oh, it was, yeah, that was
The
great.
worst part about that, or possibly the best, is that there was a ghost who lived in your room and he hated you. And he waited to the almost perfect moment to try to kill you. And he only had one shot at it and he missed.
Shit, ghost. Suck it. You ain't
Mark
shit,
my
ghost.
words. The next near accident I'm in, I'm going to go, suck it, ghost. Nice try, Casper.
So like I gave this kid a bunch of shit for having this fucked up serial killer room, and then realized, oh, I had that fucked up serial killer room complete with I didn't have a Glenn Strange Frankenstein, I had a Boris Karloff, and then also a bunch of like vintage magician poster. I was a cool dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of action in that bedroom. Boing, 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 boing.
yeah. That ghost was like, that kid's been trying to play a fucking harpoon gun like a banjo for the past hour and a half, and he has a real banjo and he can't even play that, but he can play the harpoon gun like an idiot. Boing, 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 boing. Yeah.
I don't blame him. I wouldn't convict a ghost for trying to kill you. I can understand that. I would be a character witness in that trial. I would be like, I understand where the ghost is coming from.
It's like the Ghostbuster it's like an episode of like Ghost Hunters, and they're like, oh, he was that annoying. Yeah, you know what? I think you have unfinished business. Go ahead, go get him. Like they send him after me. So yeah,
You deserve that shot.
I did. We start in this creepy room and we see a knife pulled off the wall, and then we see this hot teenager with big gazongas. It's the technical term, I believe. Not to be, because I don't want to be rude. Yeah. I don't want to be rude or like I don't know, objectify women. So I believe big gazongas is the technical term.
They are, yeah. I mean, they're not exactly breasts. They're more than that. And it's weird because I think she's cute, but I also think she looks like an older woman, and she's very tiny, but clearly like has a well-defined body. So she kind of can play a teenager, or like creepy. She could be an adult, and I'd buy it.
It's creepy. She was 19 at the time. Creepy. It's creepy. We're creepy.
Which, like, 19 is an okay age, but as a grown up, I feel bad thinking that now.
Yeah, of course.
But the creepier person is the POV that we're watching through the beginning of this movie. He puts on a clown mask, a la Michael Myers, pulls a knife off the wall, pulls a knife wall, and walks in and does like a stabbing scene in the shower. And it's really cool. And it turns out it wasn't actually a killer. It was her little brother. And he's loving it. He thinks it's so awesome that he got her. And I'm one for a good prank. I'm one for a good got you. But I don't know if I want to see my sister's giant jugs in the process. Right? It's not like she was changing and he didn't know. He walked into that shower. He knew what she was doing.
He wasn't trying to arf her and accidentally saw the side of her body. He full on was like, yeah, gotcha. And the fact that it didn't bother him that he surprised his sister while she was naked tells me it's not the first time he's done it. It also tells me he sucks. So
he knew enough to stand back so he didn't get knocked over by those things when she turned around.
I'm acknowledging we're being real pieces of shit right now, but it's
I was gonna say no. And this this actress, the character's name was Amy, but this actress is Elizabeth Berridge, and this was her first movie. And she actually also shows her boobs in Amadeus. She has a very small part in that. She's been in a couple other movies as well. But she actually does a decent job in this. She's like the main character, and because of this surprise shower faux murder, she tells that kid, I'm not taking you to the carnival that I said I was going to. Fuck you. She goes out on a date with this guy who's a douchebag. He's kind of like a dumb jock character. She's got a friend who's a nerd, and he's dating another girl who I guess is like the slutty chick, but they go to they secretly go to the carnival. She tells her dad that she's not going. She
I'm
flat
going
out
to the
lies,
movies.
and the little boy knows. The little boy knows, and he sneaks out to follow them and go to the carnival himself. So
Yeah,
that's
he
the
walked-
setup
how
for the
far?
movie.
How far do you think that kid walked? How many miles did that kid
In
walk?
1981 miles, it was probably like 10 miles, but like they were built for that, you know? That was no problem back then, especially if you're going to a shit ass carnival that you'd probably get killed at either in a horror movie way or just in like a carnies don't know how to assemble easy machinery way.
But along the way, a dog almost kills him, and then a creepy guy in a truck rolls up and is like, points a gun at him. Full on.
Yeah.
Shows
A
up
pickup
strapped.
truck just rolls up and is like, "Hey kid, what are you doing?" And he's like, and the guy pulls out a rifle and aims it at him and then starts cackling when he runs away. And you're like, that's the first nightmarish element for me, that and the dog. And you're like, what the fuck was that? Like, I know that has nothing to do with the movie. This movie isn't called Truck Gun. It's called Funhouse, like presumably, and they're on the way to a carnival, so I'm presuming. But like you're like, what the fuck is that guy? And what was that guy's story? Who pulls up to a kid and is like, "Hey kid," and then pulls out a gun just to scare him? Which is actually pretty terrifying. And although it's a non sequitur, I think it's actually a cinematically fun way to scare the audience because you're like, what the fuck was that?
That is quintessential Tobe Hooper, though. It's like all non sequiturs. None of it makes sense. None of these scenes drive plot. They don't matter to the movie. They just build an atmosphere that is grimy, sleazy, gross, and creepy. I don't know if that's
You're saying
good
he
or
does
not.
that in other movies too?
All of his movies. That's all he does. Eaten Alive, the guy who has a
Well, Eaten
Hotel
Alive is
and-
a fucking weird shit show of just, I don't know, it looks like short ends from other movies that he didn't feel like making the entire piece. It's like, I'll just eat this part.
So this felt like a documentary about kids who go on a double date until it goes wrong.
That's not true. That's not fair. I agree with you that it doesn't lead up to the Funhouse in a traditional fashion.
But we just watched him
But like
go to a
it's
carnival.
interesting. But they're while at the carnival, they get their fortune told, and it's weird. The woman ends up chasing them out, saying that I think she says, "I'll break every fucking bone in your body." So that's a scary thing that happens.
Yeah.
There's a really weird magician show where the magician is dressed up like Dracula. He invites a girl up from the crowd, a very hesitant girl, and he does this thing where he punctures her chest and she looks like she's dead with blood out of her mouth. Then he reveals that it's actually his daughter and she was part of the trick. But it's really weird. And like Rumi's saying, I agree with what you're saying, but in a good way, it sets this ambiance of what a weird, creepy carnival. And I kind of don't know what to expect next. Then they go to a like a freak show tent, and there's these weird cows and stuff. And then there's this like a fetus, like a weird dead baby thing in a jar, and it looks mutated.
Fetus. Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, look, this is a weird baby." And then the jock character, everyone's leaving, and the jock character's like, "Ow, little bastard just bit me." And the other male in the quartet walks over and he's like, "Stop." He's like, "No, man, look, he just bit me." And then he wipes his bloody finger, which we don't really know how it got blood. He wipes his bloody finger on the other guy's face. And I'm like, what is that? Like he's fucking with him, but how did he actually get a finger bleeding? And why would you wipe that on someone else's face?
It makes no sense.
It's weird.
Also, the guy, I think his name's Butch. He is like, when you're like, "Mom, I want to see Harrison Ford in the movie," and she's like, "We have Harrison Ford at home, honey." And like, that's the Harrison Ford at home. He is a Temu Harrison Ford. He kept his mannerisms kept reminding me of Harrison Ford, but obviously it
the
wasn't.
jock boyfriend guy.
Yeah,
His name
Not
was
the nerdy one.
Butch. It was Buzz. Buzz
Buzz?
is even worse. Yeah.
God. I kind of like Buzz. I liked him better than the nerdy guy. Again, there's a whole subgenre of friends in movies that you're like, why are they hanging out? Like
Mhm.
in Return of the Living Dead, why are the metalhead like nihilists hanging out with like these nerd party kids? And then like, why are they friends with the guy who has a job? None of this makes sense.
The world was more accepting back then.
I think you're right. Yeah, I don't know. It's okay. Do you know who the magician is? The actor? He's in a lot of
Vlad
stuff.
the Impaler.
Yeah. His name is William Finley, and he's the star in Phantom of the Paradise, one of me and my wife's favorite movies.
Ah, okay. I can see that. That makes sense.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of Tobe Hooper movies.
I like that scene. I think it's weird and it doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense. So the one thing that doesn't make sense isn't odd because none of it really makes sense. But I don't think like we've seen way more meandering movies. We've seen way more meandering plots, subplots, beginning of movies where shit's like, what does this have to do with anything? I guess I can see that someone, you in this case, is I don't know, bored or impatient or just not having that. It's not a concise, straight to the point, getting somewhere. Because even if they weren't to go straight to the Funhouse, if we saw a couple things related to the Funhouse mixed in there, it would be building. And if you were to try to chart that trajectory as a storytelling element, you would see them working their way towards it. But the movie doesn't really do that. They're just at the carnivaling around a bit. I'm all for it. I have no complaints. I like it, but I do understand if you're saying, come on, man, let's get to that fucking Funhouse. I get that.
Yeah, I just need something else to happen to tell me what the movie's purpose is. Because at this point, it feels like we're just kind of meandering. And yeah, the magician scene is cool. I do like the magician scene. The creep show stuff is cool. I got to see a two-headed cow. You don't see one of them every day. The creepy baby in the jar is interesting.
Two-headed cow isn't SAG.
He's making more money than I am. I like that the carnival barkers are all played by the same guy, but he does very different characters. I thought that was cool.
Is he really the same guy?
It's all three carnival barkers are the same guy. The guy who plays the dad, the freak show dad, is the same carnival. He said the stipulation was that dude won a Tony and then did this movie. And he said, I'll do it, but I want to play all three Barkers. And he's like, he played like a British guy, wiggling and jiggling for the like girls tent for the freak show. He's like, alive. And he's like this creepy biker guy. Yeah. And then for the Funhouse, he's like a different character. And that's the character that kind of becomes a main character. But I really liked that. I thought that was interesting that he played all those parts. But again, interesting only carries you so far until you like develop a plot. And I just feel like you don't know which one of these threads are going to get pulled. Like, is the magician going to be a character in this movie now? No. You spent a lot of time introducing this character. Is the fortune teller going to be a character in this movie? For one scene.
Oh, well, but she's important though because she's part of, I guess, one of the inciting incidents, right?
Who else is going to jerk off Kankenstein? I mean, right? Like, spoiler
I need a crystal
alert!
Ball to tell me that.
Yeah, her crystal ball didn't tell me I was going to see that in this movie, but we see that in this movie.
I'm sorry, but if you're a fortune teller and you get murdered, you suck at your job, right?
Suck it, ghosts and fortune tellers.
The movie gets cooking when the quartet that are, the double date, they go to this fun house and they're like, I have an idea. Let's stay the night in the fun house, which off the top of my head, the only dumber thing I can think of, and it might be because I just watched this recently, is Chopping Mall when the teenagers are like, let's lock ourselves in the bed mattress home furnishing store and fuck on the mattresses and sleep next to our friend, like have sex next to our friends all night in a mall. Like that, but that's probably the worst thing that I can think of, except there is a water balloon fight scene in Sleepaway Camp in which kids are having a water balloon fight on the roof, on the slanted roof of a summer cabin. That's the only other thing worse than sleeping
But-
like having sex in a bed store in a mall. And
I
then I think
buy
this is third
Chopping Mall.
place.
I buy Chopping Mall more than I buy this one because Chopping Mall is at
Because you
least
used to have sex in mattress stores all the time.
all the time. No, it's because they.
That's how we met.
there.
Yeah, they work there. I get that. But I
They work
also
there.
like
They need
to
a place
me,
to party. They need a place to party, and at their mattress store, they know they're going to be left alone, and nobody's going to bother them for the whole night. I get that. That makes sense in the case of the story, being like, "Hey, let's sleep in this creepy place," and they're like, "Oh, that's a great idea." That's not a great idea. It's a dumb idea. They don't justify it. It's not like they work there. It's not like they have a reason to do that. It's not. They don't even know if they can sleep in there. They don't know if there's a place for them to sleep in there. None of it makes any sense.
I don't think they wanted to sleep. I think they wanted to be hijinks, sexual hijinks, and
Yeah.
spooky hijinks.
They want a bone in there.
And
I get it.
okay, Rumi, me and you are hanging out, and we got nothing to do, and we say, okay, we brainstorm, and we come up with 3 ideas. One is go to a creepy ass local carnival, jump off the spook show ride, and spend the night in a creepy animatronic house. Have sex next to each other in a mattress store that we work at, or have a water balloon fight on a roof. I know which one I'm doing first, so I can't fault this movie too hard.
I mean, after I fall off the roof and hopefully survive, you're right. Hanging out in a creepy funhouse is second on the list, but
Okay.
I also I need to point something else out. What did you call it?
Spook
Show,
show,
right?
Spook house.
It is not a fun house. It is a dark ride. It's not even
about that.
It's not even a fucking fun house. It's a dark ride. It is a haunted house. The haunted house with little carts that you ride in. They're called dark rides. Fun houses have like uneven floors and a spinny tunnel that you can't stand up in and a hall of mirrors. And you're like, whoa, and you bump into shit. And then you go down a slide at the end. A fun house is like wacky. This is scary. And a scary fun house is called a dark ride or a haunted house or just whatever a spook show ride, as you called it. It's not even a fun house.
I never thought about that. Do you think maybe it was supposed to be called the quote unquote fun house, but they used all their budget and they couldn't afford the quotes on the movie poster?
I think the poster was lucky that it even said Funhouse and it didn't say something even dumber like Night of the Clowns, and then there's no clowns. Like it's one of those movies that you're just. I'm surprised that when the title comes up, the Funhouse, that they even got that right, because it just doesn't seem to be getting much right so far. Like how when you watch Blood Rage and the title comes up and it says slasher and you're like, wait, what movie am I watching? This movie is lucky that it got its own name right when it like auditioned itself to be viewed by the public.
It's funny because I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I have no argument to say you're wrong or that I don't understand where you're coming from. But I just don't give a fuck. It doesn't have a killer Jack in the Box. It's not about a fun house. It doesn't make any sense, and it takes forever for them to get there. But sign me the fuck up. I'm ready.
It's funny to me because it's like if we're sitting next to each other in a mattress store popping balloons up into the air, every time this movie does something stupid, you're like, it's like boink, and you're like, yeah. And some clown is popping up a Jack in the Box and slamming my shit to the floor. And I'm like, Ruby, we're not watching the same thing right now. And you're just like, boink, 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 boink. Bang, dang, 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 dang. Yeah, it's.
I like it. They go in, they jump out of the fun house car, and they start fooling around. There's a couple shots of them fooling around.
No, hold on. We've been recording for 34 minutes and 32 seconds.
We haven't even gotten to the fun house yet.
We haven't even gotten to the fun house. It takes them 35 minutes to even come up with the idea. Hey, let's stay all night at the fun house. You call your mom, I call my mom. We'll say we're staying at each other's houses. 35 minutes before they even decide to go on the fun house ride. And it's as long as we've been recording. And
Sounds
now
like a good carnival.
It's interesting, but none of it is a hook. None of it gets
Everybody
you to
listening to this episode is like, I wish I was looking at a two-headed cow instead of listening to these two idiots.
Here, lean in real close to the side of the side of the frame. Now, oh, we're two-headed cows. If the movie started, hey, you want to go to the carnival? Yeah, that sounds like a great idea, Buzz. Oh, hey, you know, it'd be really fun. We should spend the night there. I don't know, Buzz. That sounds like a bad idea. Oh, come on, don't be a wimp. And then they argue about it, and the whole thing, he's like, all right, we don't have to do that. But then they're like, go to the carnival, and they're doing carnival stuff, and they keep seeing the fun house, and he's like, come on, it'll be fun. And she's like, I don't know. And then like she has that conversation with her friend in the bathroom where the weird, creepy witch lady's like, God is watching you.
God is watching you.
And you're like, are you going to be a character later? Nope. And she's like, you should get laid. And she's like, you know what? That sounds like a great idea. Let's go to the goddamn fun house. That would have been a hook. That would have been a plot that then made sense. You could have threaded that whole thing that like, are we going to spend the night there? Are we not going to spend the night there? That's how a plot works. This movie was just like, I don't know if I wrote, like, it's like they were writing it. They're like, hey, did you get to the script that's about the fun house? And Tobe was like, just keep riding the rides. Vamp, just spend time, man. Just keep going. And they were like, just had to keep the movie entertaining enough while he wrote the script for the movie that I thought I was going to watch.
You know, again, you're explaining this and it makes sense. And I'm thinking, and I was going to ask, but you have explained it well enough. I was going to say, if they did say that at the beginning, hey, we're going to the carnival. What are you laughing at?
It's so fucking silly.
Don't know if this is a fun house. This isn't something to laugh about. It's fun house. I was going to say, if they did thread that better, if they did say from the beginning that they're going to the fun house and then debating and arguing and making fun of each other about being wusses about whether or not they're going to stay in the fun house overnight, would that have made it better? And I think structurally it would have. And it's almost like if you think of like a tent, like I was thinking circus tent, but like a tent, you have these tent poles that literally hold the roof and the top of the tent up, and you need those poles in the right position. Otherwise, it's not going to make a tent, right? So if you put all of the poles in a tent on one side of the tent, it wouldn't actually be a tent. It would be a flat fucking cover that you'd have to crawl through until there was enough space to stand up when you got to all the poles. So I guess when you think about it, you know, when you think about storytelling and you think about pacing, those beats are actually pretty important. And it didn't bother me, but I can't say that I don't know what you're talking about. It does. There are a bunch of things happening at the beginning, but there's no stakes and they don't tie into anything. There's no check off such and such. There's no stakes
because they didn't kill the cows. They didn't kill the cows yet. That's why there's no stakes.
Well, there was a stake that guy's the magician's assistant. So that's a check off stake. But like, it is weird because those are really like, you know, you can think of it in any sort of foundational building analogy that you want. You're supposed to be building things. You're supposed to say, oh, in the first act, you set something up that should pay off later, whatever that is. This movie doesn't really do that. And I think the absence of that is felt, right? Like you kind of are like, wait, this is weird. This is weird that none of this happens. You think that guy with the gun in the truck is going to have something to do with something. You think this thing is going to have an outcome that happens later. And when it doesn't, I can see the argument for that it's unsatisfying. I think the second half of this movie, when it actually starts, it's good enough for me that I'm having fun with it and I don't really care. It's not award winning. It's not like, it's not a movie I tell people, oh, you got to go see it. But I certainly don't have a problem with it. And I certainly can see a room full of, you know, teenage boys having a sleepover to it and watching more than just the shower scene.
When they get there, the movie gets going and you're like, this is a competent horror film. It is doing the thing right. I agree with that. And the thing, and I keep coming back to. I don't know why this doesn't bother me. If they're like, "Oh, mamma mia, spaghetti, stabba stabba," if it's Italian, it doesn't bother me. But like, if it's for some reason this movie, I'm just like,
because you're racist. It's because you're racist. That's why.
only towards Mario's. I don't know. Like I can't figure it out. Towards Americans, I like the Italian version, and I love spaghetti. It's the American version. I'm racist to Tobe Hoopers. Apparently.
Well, there is there is also something to say though, because like stylistically, this movie is different than a Giallo film, right? Giallo films are kind of a little bit earlier. They're from a completely different country. They're crafted differently, and a lot of those we're calling them non sequiturs in this case. I think in most of the Giallos, at least that we have seen together or watched for the show, there's a reason for most of those scenes, even if it is only to amp up the tension for the scene that it follows it, right? There's in this one, there's a dog that jumps into a fence to scare a kid. It's just a jump scare in this one, but there's a very nightmarish scene in one of the ones that we've watched. I think it's Tenebrae, the one where the girl's running and the dog attacks her and she runs through the mansion. Is that what it is?
Oh, that's Phenomena.
No. It's definitely not Phenomena. It's the one where she like ends up at the killer's place and she's running and she's got a dress on.
Yeah.
The dog attacks her.
Yeah, Tenebrae, and then she gets there, and yeah. Sorry.
So like that, but like that is a piece of a larger sequence. So like, is the dog actually a threat? Did it need to be a dog? No and no. But like, it kind of flows a lot better. It's part of the same tapestry, whereas this feels like a piece next to another piece next to another piece, but there's nothing bridging them together, maybe. So I think it is more than just your taste for Giallo as opposed to this.
Yeah.
They are two different flavors. They're two different dishes, right? And I guess you could say one goes together better than the other, at least for you.
You know what the tent pole they set up is? It's when she grabs her pervy brother and goes, "I'm going to get you back, and I'm going to scare you so hard you're never going to forget it. I'm going to get you back." And she says it like violently, shaking him.
Yeah.
"I'm going to get you back." That's the Chekhov's gun that they don't deliver on. The kid.
Well,
the kid does get.
She doesn't scare him.
Yeah, the kid gets scared shitless, but it's not her.
Yeah, it's true. He
So
gets scared shitless throughout, and he actually has nothing to do with the movie, right? Like she eventually escapes at the end, but has nothing to do with the kid. He's not even a subplot. He's just like a side plot that kind of runs parallel, and I guess oversects their plot a couple times, but with no consequence. And he does get scared and runs away. And I think most of the scariest shit in the movie, the things I think function the best as a scare, happen to him in the movie, right? In my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, he's a kid. He's vulnerable. You know that this carnival has killed children, hidden their bodies in the past. Like, you think this kid is going to cross paths with his sister, and it never happens. And there's this like tragic moment later, like he gets scared by Freakazoid and like passes out, and then the carny, like one of the carnival folk, find him and call his parents, and they come and get him. And there's this tragic moment where the daughter's screaming out a window and her dad can't hear her, and that's effective.
Yeah,
that was an effective beat.
She's screaming through a fan.
Yeah.
And that's another beat for me, was another one of those nightmare beats, because I feel like there's so many times in my dreams that I can't do something that is essential. Usually it's moving. I can't get from one place to another fast enough in a dream. In this, I can see the same idea of the thing I need, the family, the help, the salvation is right there.
Right there.
But I'm unable to communicate my need. And I think that's a really good thing, a really good horror element there.
100%.
Which I think we've all seen at some point in our real lives or in dreams, right?
Yeah.
But I love when they're making out, and all of a sudden they're in the fun house when the movie actually kind of starts, 45 minutes in, and a light comes on through the floor. They look down and they can see into a room. And there is a man in a Frankenstein costume who was working the outside of the quote unquote fun house. And he's like lumbering around in a Frankenstein costume. He's still in it. And he's fooling around with the fortune teller. She gives him some money. There's a very funny kind of scene where she's like jacking him off and he's charging him, and he finishes right away. And the teenagers are laughing up above. And the woman wants money and he doesn't want to give her the money. It was too fast and he kills her. And they witness the murder. So now you're like, oh, okay. So now we're trapped in a fun house, but also you witnessed a murder. So this guy in a costume has now killed the fortune teller. And they go down and they like investigate a little bit, and then they hide again up above again. And the carnival barker comes in, he's yelling at the Frankenstein guy, and
It turns out
someone's
it's his
lighter
son.
falls.
Yeah.
Right. The nerdy guy's lighter falls through the hole in the floor, and now the carnival barker and the Frankenstein guy know that there's other people in the fun house, which they've locked up already. So now they're trapped in a fun house, which is like a creepy environment, with a murderer and his dad. And in their discussion, the dialogue that we hear, we overhear, and multiple times through the movie, we've heard that there have been disappearances, kidnappings, and possible murders related to this carnival. The dad character, the barker, confirms it and says, I don't care if you kill locals, but you killed one of us, to the Frankenstein guy. So now we know that they are malicious. This wasn't like a one-time murder, because it kind of is not totally intentional, but still he killed her. Creepy. But now we know, like, oh, they've murdered and killed and covered it up in the past. So
Hit
this is
yourself.
what's going to happen. So now they're in trouble.
Hit yourself, boy.
Yeah.
Hit yourself. And Frankenstein's hitting himself in the head. And it's a really like bizarre scene, because you're like, this is another like Tobe Hooper special where it's like, is this improv? Did you discuss this? Was this even scripted?
Mhm.
Are these people
Yeah.
actors? Is this real? Is this a documentary? Like, it keeps getting so weird that you're just like, and it goes on like too long. And then Frankenstein, you get the sense that he's nonverbal and a simple, like he's
Yeah, I
He's
haven't
not-
said that, but he's grunting. He's not talking. The fortune
Yeah.
teller seems to know what he's saying or means, but he's not saying.
Yeah, he's not saying words. You can tell that he's developmentally challenged. He's hitting himself in the head at his dad's instruction, and he rips off the Frankenstein mask, and we get this horrific,
Cleft
Like-
palate face, like
like the cow earlier.
looking, red eyes, devil teeth, a creature. It's a creature mask. So
It's a creature. What would you say
To
he's
me,
like? What
definitely-
creature is he? We don't know. It's crazy.
a Wendigo that got chopped in the face. Like, it's definitely not something we know of.
But he has like, it's like
Right?
two
It's pretty-
faces mixed together.
Mhm. I think it's
crazy.
supposed to look like the cow, the two cows, one with cleft
Well-
palate and the one with the split double head. And the dad says something about your Rumi.
Yes, Rumi's raising his hands. Rumi is acknowledged. Tobe Hooper in an interview said that they had a very different creature design. Rick Baker had did a completely different, like more like ape-man troglodyte caveman thing. And when they had the cleft palate cow show up, he's like that. When the two-headed
Yeah,
cow and the
that makes
cleft
sense.
palate cow showed up, he's like, make it look like that. And Rick Baker went back and made this like cleft palate two-headed creature, two-faced creature melded together, which that's cool.
Infinite universes. Do you think in cleft palate cow world there is a Funhouse film where a bunch of cleft palate cows get stuck in a funhouse, and cleft palate cow Rick Baker made a human mask, but when the two-headed ape showed up, the cleft palate Tobe Hooper cow was like, that. We need that. That was a lot of work for that joke. I don't think it was that funny, but I worked hard.
I just the effort for it and me trying to follow it in my head. And like, it's funny because like I'm trying to picture it in my head. So every time you said like cleft palate cow, my mind had to go, all right, picture a cow. Now
Right.
give him the cleft palate.
No
Okay,
cleavage
now
palate.
exactly. Give it, and I just see that cow's face, and he's like, he kept sticking his tongue out
Yeah.
between the. It's great. So then I had to like imagine that, and then follow that story, but every time like retrofitting it to have this cow in it.
Did you think of a
Wow.
bunch of cows, cleft palate cows, in a cleft palate cow movie theater? And when they watch it would have to be a Frankenstein cow mask. Cleft palate Frankenstein cow mask get pulled off of the character. There would be an ape man underneath, and that's what would freak out the cleft palate cows.
Whoa! Yeah, I love it. And then they're all like clapping with their hooves. Do they eat popcorn?
A lot of people were clapping for Funhouse.
Feel about Creature.
Oh, I mean, at this point, I think part of it I give it a pass because it's 55 minutes into the movie and finally shit's getting going, so I don't care. It doesn't look great. It's not an amazing. It's not an amazing. I mean, this is 1981, man. We have The Thing coming out at the same time, so you can't tell me that they couldn't have done better. But like, is it bad? No. Is it any worse than the first couple Friday the 13th makeups and stuff? No. It's fun. I did not expect it. You think that it's going to be about a killer Jack in the Box. You think it's going to be about them being in the fun house and that the fun house is the scary element, but it's not. Then you see Frankenstein commit a murder and his creepy Barker dad is like, come on down. I just want to talk to you. I want to give you your lighter back. And you're like, nope. Especially I know how Tobe Hooper families work. Don't go talk to that family. And then you're like, oh, by the way, he's a giant monster. And you're like, fuck, I did not. Like, now it's like, it's almost like the movie's like, I'm sorry, I'm late to my own movie. Let me catch you up real quick. Okay, there's a monster, he's a killer, and he's a monster. And you're like, oh, okay.
It is so left field when the mask comes off and it's like some sort of two-faced bat monster child. That is the biggest like plus for me. You're like, whoa, I would have never guessed in a million years.
Yeah.
Because already you're like,
give me 50 guesses, I wouldn't have come up with that.
Wouldn't have come up with that. So this is where the movie kind of gets a little bop for me, where I'm like, oh, you know what? Great. That's fucking weird. But then it immediately bops it down because every time I see him on screen past his first reveal, you're like, oh, you're showing it more. Oh, it's not. It looks worse the more you show it. Stop showing it. Oh, it's just a mask. It's just a Halloween mask. He's wearing another Halloween mask. It's fine.
Yeah, it does. I guess maybe that's why the Frankenstein mask looks so terribly big and bad, because they wanted you to be like, oh, I didn't think that was the monster mask. This looks way better. It's way more wet.
Yeah, it's pretty good. The first initial reveal is really good, and then it's just chaos.
Screaming. It's a really close up reveal.
Yeah, but then the rest of it is another Tobe Hooper special, which is for 45 more minutes of people screaming and running and getting killed. The kills are actually, they're not gory, but they're kind of creative in the sense that like, you're
fun.
They're fine. They're fine. And I love the part where Nerdy Guy, he like, while they're being freaked out by Funhouse stuff, a noose drops down and yanks him into the air out of sight, and they're all like, oh my god, whatever his name is, and then all of a sudden this like lightning strike happens, like a manufactured strobe light, and the door opens and one of the dark ride carts come out, and Buzz with an axe goes boom, and then you look and he had just axed his buddy's corpse in the face. That's cool. That's a good reveal. It's fucking creepy. I liked it.
Yeah, I agree. And then, the people get picked off one by one. Some of them, like the noose, we don't really know who did the noose. Sometimes it's the monster. The monster kills the other girl. There's a standoff between the carnival barker and Buzz. And then you have your final girl fight.
That's great. The carnival so Buzz and the carnival barker are fighting. Pop, like old school Indiana Jones style. And he pushes the carnival barker and he lands on a sword, and then he grabs Buzz and just like manhandles him to impale himself, which is pretty great. Pretty good moment.
Awesome.
And then Buzz dies from this, and then the final girl runs away, and like the doors open again, because in a dark ride there's all these different sectioned off areas and you have to go through these big barn doors. The doors open and this like animatronic clown is just carrying Buzz's corpse. Pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
She's a weak ass final girl. She's terrible. She just runs around going squeaking, not doing anything. Like even when she tries to fight the fucking guy,
she's running around with those giant jugs. She's lucky she's not falling over.
God, we suck.
I'm not even gonna make the low hanging fruit. Well, first of all, I mean compare them to low hanging fruit, but I'm not gonna make the suck joke about them. But I guess she is she says like 9 lines. Once they get in the funhouse, she says like Correct.
4 words and then squeaks.
Well, and then here, that's what I was gonna say is I don't disagree with you that she is a shallow final girl. Is that because we haven't structurally built her up to be the heroine that we expect in a movie like this? We didn't give her a check off something. We didn't give her a trauma that she needs to overcome. We didn't give her a thing that she reflects on in the final moment that saves her. There's nothing like that. There's nothing there. So she just doesn't die and helps the monster die and escapes. And that's
barely
it, right?
even does that. She gets a crowbar. She swings the crowbar at the monster. The monster grabs the crowbar, rips it away from her, and in doing this action, accidentally plants the crowbar firmly into a like circuit box, electrocutes himself. While he's getting electrocuted, a hook that makes no sense, but anyway, there's hooks in the ceiling, grabs him from his collar, and then for 3 minutes, 3 whole minutes, I timed it, she's screaming while he's like, gets like carried around the room as if he's some like shitty dry cleaner, and then gets sucked into some giant gears and dies. That would have happened to him anyway. That's why his dad didn't let him up in the hook room. That monster would have gotten caught in those gears, regardless of whether she was there or not. There was there's no reason.
Did you watch this streaming?
Streaming?
Did you watch it on a streaming platform, or do you have the Blu-ray? I have the Shout Factory Blu-ray.
I would never buy this, even with your money.
I have the I have the Shout Factory Blu-ray, which has the director's cut and deleted scenes in which they really flesh out the crowbar character. And you find that in the director's cut, the crowbar was actually supposed to be the final girl. So although it looks like Amy, Elizabeth Berenger's character doesn't seem like she does much, she wasn't supposed to be the final girl. It was supposed to fall to the crowbar. It actually seems more heroic. The crowbar's sacrifice of jamming itself into the electrical panel. It makes more sense. Less passive that way. Tobe Hooper fought. He was like, I know some dildos will be making a podcast in 40 years ripping this apart. He's gonna say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did me making one of the staples of modern horror not good enough for you, Aaron McLean?" That's on the Shout Factory DVD too.
He says that. That's the thing about Tobe Hooper, man. He did make a seminal piece of horror history in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And what else did he do? Poltergeist is great. And I do give him...
He made a Billy Idol music video.
Oh, Dancing with Myself. Yeah. He did Life Force.
Yeah.
Talk about circus
Which I
tits.
love, but I know it's not good. I thought you said talk about circus tits, and I was like, fair.
That is what I said.
I thought you said circus tents.
No, circus tits. I'm the feminine of your mind, Carlson. I just watched the director's cut of that movie, and it's still just a bonkers ass film. Better than this movie.
Better in that it's structured better, or you enjoyed it more, or both, or what do you mean? Like, I know that was a kind of a throwaway comment, but do You clearly you like or care about Life Force more than this, yeah?
I like Life Force more because at least there's like, I don't know, there's an A, B,
Way
and
more
C.
nudity.
Yeah, way more nudity.
Yeah.
That's what I care about. They find a thing in space, they bring it back. The thing in space wakes up, starts killing literally everybody, and then they have to stop it. There's a plot, there's progression. It doesn't take 45 minutes to get to the vampire action. Like, it happens pretty quickly. And like the special effects in it are pretty solid. I like the 80s horror of it. It's a weird ass movie. Still, a lot of shit doesn't make any sense in that movie, but it's interesting. I do give him credit. A lot of people are like, oh, Steven Spielberg was actually shadow directing Poltergeist. I don't think that's fair to Tobe Hooper. I will actually give him credit. I know a lot of people, especially when they're like, you don't even seem to like Tobe Hooper, Aaron. And I'll be like, no. I think he and Steven Spielberg were really good collaborators. He was slated to direct E.T. is something else I found out, but he did this movie
I
instead.
thought he was supposed to direct that because of this movie. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I do think that he had something to do, a lot to do with Poltergeist. I think Steven Spielberg's thumbprint and DNA is all a part of that movie because he, was a producer on it. But I think Tobe Hooper directed that movie. That's, I think, his best film. I said it. I think Poltergeist is Tobe Hooper's best film. But what else has he done? The Mangler? Get the fuck out of here.
Well, I'm actually looking now. Invaders from Mars.
Terrible.
Well, Salem's Lot, TV miniseries.
Not that great.
You're ornery tonight, buddy.
Better.
I don't necessarily disagree with you, but
Salem's Lot is slow. It's got a really cool vampire design, but it's fucking slow.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I don't think I have as many problems as you do with it, but I also don't disagree with what you're saying. I'm not like, dude, you're crazy. That's not true.
What?
Yeah.
The Toolbox Murder remake, I actually don't hate. Oddly enough,
His Toolbox Murder remake.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've seen it, but I don't remember anything about it.
We watched it together. I was kind of like, whoa, this is kind of cool. And you were like, it sucks. The original's better. And we watched the original in Shitty Movie Sunday, and it was all right. It was fun. But I kind of liked his version.
I want to make a joke about Mr. Hooper from Sesame Street in like a revenge movie where Tobe Hooper directed this. But like I worked so hard on that cleft palate cow world joke that like I don't have it in me to build the bridges I need.
I'll just tell you one scene from that movie. Bert's like, Mr. Hooper, have you seen Ernie? He said he was looking for my bottle cap collection. And Mr. Hooper turns around and he's just holding the felt face of Ernie up. There you go.
like a mask.
Yeah.
Is the mask on over Mr. Hooper's face or over his hand?
I almost was like
right there.
Almost was like on his face, dildo. That's like what a mask is. But then I realized that joke was smarter than me, and I was like, "Fuck, that's good." God,
I watched that joke land on you, and I saw the exact moment that you got hit with it, and it was. I've landed some good jokes, even just in this show with you, but that's going to be a favorite. I'll replay that shit.
Yeah, but now you're going to try and explain that to somebody, and you're like, and Mr. Hooper was wearing Ernie as a face. And I tried to tell Rumi, where's he wears the mask on his face or his hand? And Rumi was like, duh, mask go on face, dum-dum. But on a Muppet, it would go on his head. And nobody will look. Everybody will just be like, are you okay? And then you're like, then I told it some tit jokes, and they were like, okay, that's more like you. That's
yeah, boobs. You ever see Life Force? Remember those jugs and that pubic hair? Yeah, that was good.
I'm the feminine of your mind, Carlson. We should do a Life Force episode because just watching Patrick Stewart be possessed by a woman to make out with the other male main character of this movie was hysterical to me. Just like Patrick Stewart saying lines like that. So good. Oh my God.
Yeah, that movie's a lot of weird pieces stuck together, like for sure. It almost is like a game of telephone where you're like, someone wrote a script and then told someone else a part of it, and then someone else told another part of it, but like they weren't allowed to use nouns, and it like just got out of hand from there.
This is what I've been saying the whole episode. All Tobe Hooper movies are a game of telephone where he's still like nobody knows what the next page is going to be. And part of that is exciting because a good horror movie makes you feel unsafe with what the structure of what's about to happen is. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm scared. That's good. But for some reason, like it's like, yeah, but then we're going to get to the plot, right? Or like you said, the telephone part of it comes together and you go, hi, guy, I get it. But
Right.
all of his movies are like that. All of them.
And
Except for
I gotta say,
Poltergeist.
I still like it's almost, we keep talking about a dark ride. I feel like this episode and talking with you has illuminated some of the pieces of this movie. You know, it's kind of like we turn the lights on in that dark ride where now you could see the tracks and you could see the doors that swing open and the animatronic skeleton that jumps out. And I see the flaws, I see the problems, and I see the things that make this, or that I could say keep this from being better than it is. But I don't care. I had fun with it. It's not a great one. It's not like, put it this way, you know, you, Rumi, know me real well, but like our listeners know, there are movies that I'll buy every edition of. There's movies I'm going to buy the action figures of. I don't need to do that for this. I wouldn't buy the action figure. I bought the Shout Factory Blu-ray because I wanted a good copy of it. I won't buy the next edition if they release something better, or, you know, even if they released it with new behind the scenes things. I don't need that for this. I have what I need. I'm good with this.
If NECA made an ultimate, what is he? Does he have a name?
Bat face cow. I'd buy the cow. Wouldn't you buy the cow?
The cow's
You
my
flick
favorite part of this
move
movie.
the switch on the back and the tongue comes out.
It's my favorite part of the movie. The cow, the two-headed cow and cleft-palate cow are the best. But if NECA made a Blake, hook it up, man. We know you're listening. If you made a bat face boy and then you had like the interchangeable Frankenstein head like that, and like some money for his hand job, that'd be great.
Would you release it with a two pack with a fortune teller?
They don't make toys that do anymore. They don't make toys that do that.
There's not enough jerking off toys. If you're not watching the YouTube, first of all, you need to, because Rumi just did a two-handed hand job motion to express the action feature that he most misses of figures.
We all had toys. Like, I had so many Ninja Turtle toys that if you like, it made sense if they were holding a nunchaku or a sai, but when they weren't holding their weapons, they were just like, and you're like, oh God, that's vulgar. But you didn't know, you were a kid. You were like, yeah, let's go, Leonardo.
You know the Funhouse 2-pack NECA action figure box set that I want?
Oh yeah, what?
Creepy brother shower scene. That's the one that I want. Comes with the little mask for the little brother. Pull back the shower. She's screaming as she gets stabbed with a plastic knife.
Movie's batshit ridiculous. She escapes the fun house. She sees this like animatronic of like a bearded fat lady going, ha, 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 ha. The sun's coming up, and as like the animatronic winds down, it's like, and she looks terrified and runs away. And that's the end of the movie. And yeah, the last 45 minutes they're fine. That is a solid 80s horror film to me. But like all the sums of its parts together, if you had one of the carnival scenes, I do like the magician scene. Yeah, okay. But like I said,
another box set that could be made.
Oh yeah.
Action figure box set.
Oh, but it would actually do the magic trick, because when the girl goes in the box, she's wearing like a white dress, but then when he impales her and then everybody's like, oh my God, she's dead, and he opens it, she pops out in like a magician's assistant's costume. It was a quick change trick. You could have it actually work. That'd be sick.
What do you give this? Like, let's wrap it up, but what do you give this as either a scale from 1 to 10 or a letter grade, whichever you prefer?
A 3.
3 out of 10?
3 out of 5. No, 3 out of 10. Yeah, that's fair.
You give this movie a 30%.
Yes. Yeah, it's not good.
Damn.
It is not a good movie.
I would give this at least a 75, 80.
Wow. See, I'd give Life Force a 75 to 80.
I'd give Life Force less than well, I haven't seen it in a year, but I would give it less than a 75 or 80 because I think it's not as accessible.
All right, fair enough.
Oh fuck! Should we do a double and turn this into a 2-parter where we do Funhouse first and then we do our next episode as Life Force?
So on Saturday I'm doing a Tobe Hooper retrospective where I'm talking about a bunch of Tobe Hooper movies. So I watched a bunch of Tobe Hooper movies. I could be so down to keep the Tobe Hooper fun ride going.
Well, do we want to do that one, or we want to do a different one?
I would love to do Life Force with you, but I also just watched The Mangler, which, for those of you who don't know,
Stephen King short story.
It's a Stephen King short story turned into a feature-length film about a laundry machine that kills people, starring Robert Englund and Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs.
And do you know how many Mangler movies there are?
There's like 6 of them, dog.
Yeah, I don't remember the number, but it's more than 1, which is ridiculous.
It's more than 3. I do know that. It's crazy.
Yeah,
and I will not be watching
laundry machine.
I will not watch anything past 1. One wasn't. Look, it was weird enough that I watched the whole damn thing. Was like, all right, wow. I kind of like The Mangler. The Mangler is how I feel you feel about Funhouse.
Okay, so should I watch The Mangler for the next one?
Let's do
Mangler. Or you want to do Life Force? You want to do?
Let's do Mangler next, and a little bit further down the road, we'll do Life Force.
Let's do Mangler 4, Laundry in Space.
Laundry in Space. Mangler Scream crossover. That's the one we need.
I was telling someone about that the other day.
It's so good. I have a fun
throws a
story.
knife into orbit and it goes around the planet and stabs somebody.
That was pretty brilliant. I have a good story from Tobe Hooper. I was watching these interviews about him making this movie. Again, trying to salvage my feelings about
this movie, Funhouse or Mangler?
Funhouse.
Okay.
And he said, so we were filming in Miami because in Miami they were allowed to work a child all night long, whereas in LA they were not allowed to do that. Cool, Tobe Hooper. Abuse a child.
No, I would say cool, Florida.
Yeah. So Miami in 81 is like drug war, full on drug war. While they're making this movie, people fire shots into his office window. Bullets are being fired. The Teamsters are having a cocaine war with drug lords. His Teamster captain is murdered during the filming of this movie.
What?
Yeah. One of his producers, who is fed up with this Teamster cocaine drug war, tries to take the film to the airport himself, and the Teamsters intercept it and throw it in the ocean, so they have to refilm an entire reel of film. Like bananas. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe the stuff that was going on. People getting murdered. And he's like, yeah, it was as crazy as Scarface, but we were making this movie. I was like, that is insane.
I love the idea that you said someone was fed up with this drug war. Imagine someone be like, I've had enough of this drug war.
Well, like some producer to think that he's like, I'm just going to take matters into my own hands and drive this fucking canister of film to the airport myself, because back in the day, you would film, put it into a canister, take it to the airport, send it to LA to get it developed, and then they'd send you dailies back. That's how it worked. Crazy.
Yeah, and all that time you couldn't even get to the Funhouse yet. You still had to be walking around watching fucking magic shows and seeing fucked up gals.
Oh, this has been good, man. This was more fun than that damn movie, and I gladly watched this so that we could have this fun.
Everybody listening right now is like, they didn't even talk about the drug wars until after 45 minutes into it. Well, keep it tuned here. If you like this episode, we'll jump into the Mangler next.
Oh, and we're gonna do a whole bunch of fun stuff, man. I love
Killer dry cleaning machine.
Killer dry cleaning machine. What a weird movie, man. I can't wait to talk about it, because I watched this movie for my homework, and I was like, the whole time I was like, I wonder if Rumi's seen this movie. I wonder if Rumi owns
Definitely.
this
I mean, I'm a
movie.
huge Stephen King fan, so I've especially like by the time this was made, which was mid 90s, I'd seen almost every Stephen King TV or movie thing there was, and I know the story, the written story. So when this came out, I was like, okay, and I was like, ooh, I can't right now because I didn't watch it since high school. I can't tell you the beats that I didn't agree with, but I remember being like, what the fuck? As a teenager, as a 17-year-old boy, I remember looking up and going, the fuck did I just watch?
It is 100% a huge what the fuck. But more normal as a story. Like this happens and that causes this to happen. More normal as a story it's like as normal a story as Tobe Hooper gets outside of Poltergeist.
Just to be clear, let me reiterate that this is a movie about a killer laundry machine.
Yep.
It's as clear and straightforward as it gets.
Oh, yeah. No, don't get me started, because we're going to talk about it.
It's the Christine, but of dry cleaning services, right?
It's as if Stephen King was like, all right, I'm going to write, what kind of killer machine can I think of? I'm running, I already did a car.
Hasn't been done before.
Yeah, and he covered his eyes, picked up a dart, threw it at the wall, looked, and he's like, damn it, why did I put dry cleaning machine up there? Oh, God, I'm such an idiot.
Who even knows that there's a dry cleaning machine? Like, no one thinks about that. How, and the best part of that is, what is the situation in which that kills? Because it doesn't, run down the street eating people, right? So, it's not like the car, which
close
is
enough to it. We're getting too far into the next episode. We have to finish this episode up, guys.
I actually think a killer, the thing I'm sitting closest to is a dishwasher, and I think that a killer dishwasher is more menacing than a killer laundry machine. Don't you think?
I've been injured by a dishwasher. I've never been injured by a laundry machine.
I've been injured by a dishwasher. I'm going to make you that shirt, you dildo. It's going to say, on the front, it's going to say, I've been injured by a dishwasher. And then on the back, it's going to say, I've had a nightmare about a hummingbird.
Tell me you wouldn't be freaked out if you're like, oh, it's just a stupid hummingbird, but then it went in your ear and punctured your brain. Tell me that's not scary.
I mean, how quickly did it escalate? If there's a hummingbird, was it menacing you before the ear brain puncture?
Everybody has had this situation where a yellow jacket, like a bee is and you're like, get away. And it's like, no. And you're like, God, you're getting aggressive. Get away. Ah. And it escalates, right? Now imagine if that bee is now this big and it's got a little sharp lance on the tip of its nose. He's poking you and chasing you, man. It was fucking freaky.
Okay. You know how this whole episode I kept saying, I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I don't think you're wrong, but It didn't bother me. I definitely don't understand what the fuck you're talking about now. You're talking about the most cutest and probably most drawn Disney bird was harassing you in a dream.
That's why it was so freaky. Normally they're fine, beautiful little animals. But when they get aggressive, Stephen King, if Stephen King had closed his eyes and thrown a dart at the board.
Stephen King is listening right now and he's like, hummingbird. Oh, why did I go with laundry machine?
I could have made the piercer. And it's about a hummingbird that flies in people's ears. But the fact that it made me wake up and go, oh, like I had have you ever tripped in a dream and it makes you wake up? Like, oh,
Yeah.
I tripped. Yeah. It was like that, but I was like, oh, my ear.
They're going to say, oh, you're acting like a little girl in the dream. So when you woke up, you really were a little girl for a second.
Oh, my ear. I mean, you never know. Well, guys, let us know what's your favorite Tobe Hooper movie outside of Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Poltergeist, because those are good. Yeah, how do you feel about Tobe Hooper? Is he good? Is he a hack? I don't think he's a hack, but I definitely think he has an aesthetic that is wild. It's wild. He's trying to break the mold, and I think at the end of the day, I have to salute any director who's trying to break the mold, buck Hollywood, and make things interesting. And I think he is absolutely, with all earnesty, trying to do that. So, in that vein, yay, Tobe Hooper. Let us know. Social media, Facebook, Instagram, all the social media, and YouTube at Launchpad Pod. And our website, launchpadpod.com. Apologies for the shit internet, weird breakups, odd audio, garblings, hiccups, whatever you may call it. I try to fix them as best I can, but what can you do when the internet is garbage and you don't have any control over it? Yeah, let us know. Anyway, Matt, there's one last thing we have to do. We gotta blast this thing off. You ready? Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Whoosh. All right, we're the Rocketeers, and we are
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.